Welcome to What is Comics. I'm your host, Matt Sardo.
And I'm your other host, Jamie Jones. We're here to talk about what is comics and also promote Indie Comics Creator Con, the show that Matt runs and I program direct. That's my
Listen, this
job
is
title.
marketing. You're not supposed to tell them we're promoting it. We're supposed to sneak in all this cool stuff about the show.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'm an upfront guy. Just tell me what I'm getting into. Everyone knows. People know who we are. The show's cool enough. It doesn't matter. We don't have to. We can be not formal about it, or we can be as informal as we want. Hi,
No,
everybody. We're doing a show called Indie Comics Creator Con. It's happening March 15th in New Haven, Connecticut.
I
Come
work
on
so
down.
I work so hard on my radio voice, and this is what I get. This is what I get. I get fireside chats by Jamie Jones.
That's right. So yeah, well, you want to just get into it? What have we been doing this past week since our last live stream, since our last show? What have we been doing?
You know
How
the
is
you know the audience, our viewers, our listeners, all those amazing people on the interwebs. They only want to know what you're drawing. What are you doodling right now at your desk?
I have a Daredevil that I've been doodling on my desk currently. Just doodling, making a doodle. The entire So to peek behind the curtain, Matt and I talk and actually like write notes about what we're going to talk about before we get on stream or live and record, and we actually do things. I draw the whole time. Well,
And
and
if
then
anybody wants to know what Jamie's working on, zoom into the calendar behind him.
the
There's
year-old calendar.
totally tons of secrets back there. Tons of
That's
secrets.
a 2-year-old calendar at this point. It's ridiculous. Don't look at that calendar.
I
Yeah.
can I can see Tintin on your shelf. That's well placed.
Yes. Yeah. That's the art of Tintin. It's a great book. Good looking stuff.
I know. I
Should
had
we
a
get
lot of
into
fun.
it? Should we get into the meat and potatoes of this thing?
Man, you just yes, sure. I would like some potatoes. Can I have some
Great.
potatoes, please?
Great. I this past weekend I was up in DC and I went to the National Art Museum. It was incredible. Saw a lot of great art. And then I went to the National Portrait Gallery. Also incredible.
Wait,
Did you
porch?
know
Like
what
porch?
what
Porch gallery?
portrait?
Oh, I was like, there's a gallery of front porches? Like, what is
Yes,
going
the,
on
the National Porch Gallery is
in
quite
Florida?
impressive. Saw a bunch of great art. Also had bangers and mash, so there's your potato reference.
That's so weird that you had bangers and mash in DC. I feel like they would have kicked all the English restaurants out.
No, they didn't. We were in Alexandria. That's so there were two. There were two Irish pubs there. It was great.
No, Irish pubs are allowed to stay. You definitely keep those.
Right. We got it.
We had some good news this week.
Do tell, Matt. Tell me this good news.
I'm really gonna break you into this morning radio stuff. Like it's gonna be amazing. You're gonna chime in like, what good news do you have for us? Let's
Yeah,
go.
that'll never
Woo!
happen. But
What sound effects did you have last week?
I don't know. The zoo crew. Tell me the good news, Matt. What's the good news?
Dark Horse Comics has come on as a sponsor of Indie Comics Creator Con.
Yeah, that's really exciting. That's big boy stuff. We did it. We made a thing and people liked it enough that they're sponsoring us for stuff. And that's cool.
It is pretty awesome. I mean, because they're one of the like first big indie publishers, if not
Yeah.
the first.
Yeah, they started off as a comic shop. They started publishing stuff, and we get The Goon and Hellboy and Sin City and good creator-owned comics, Madman. These things that I very much enjoy. Most of the things that I enjoy have come out from Dark Horse, and that's really cool and really special. So I am so you didn't even tell me about this thing, and I saw it with the rest of the public, and I was like, oh, damn, what a cool time to be alive. We're moving on up in the world, and that's great.
The funny thing about that announcement that just cracked me up, and this is something that we can debate during drink and draw before the show and the after party after the show is like there was a comment where somebody's like, "Is Dark Horse even indie comics now?"
This is a good question. I think they represent the spirit of indie comics. Yes, they are a massive publisher. They publish a bunch of books. They also represent and put out a lot of creator-owned work. And I think that is what is independent comics really? What is independent film? You know, is it a budgetary thing? Like
Well, that's my
that's
thing is that one of my like core beliefs is that I'm trying to like raise everybody up. If I could put a spotlight on indie creators and if I could bring people to the convention and people can sell their books and people can be successful and walk out of that and be like, oh man, this is awesome and get to that next level, I'm all for that. Like, we desperately need to not shun success. Success is good.
success is great. I wholeheartedly agree. I think there is, one of the things that we end up talking about a lot, meaning the two of us, is what is indie comics and why have we decided to be Indie Comics Creator Con? I think a lot of people take they kind of hold on to being an independent creator as like this really kind of like this is my identity. I'm a punk rocker. I'm an indie creator. I'm doing DIY stuff. And while that's great, it's also great? Grabbing a paycheck for something that you've created. Like there is, I think, creator ownership and really, making sure we're on the front lines of making sure contracts look good, right? Like these are things I think our tenets and core beliefs align in that world very strongly because we're like, hey, did you get that contract with some major publisher? Oh, you're no longer independent. It's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you're still being able to make your own stuff and you still have your voice. So I think for me, I will speak solely for myself, independent is like a voice and not necessarily I mean, it is a mode of production, right? It's similar to pulp, which was a mode of production, and it became a genre. Uh, Independent or indie kind of starts as this mode of production, this kind of DIY. We're going to make it ourselves, and it can grow into now some kind of subgenre of actual taste and art. I don't know. It's a lot of there's a lot of convoluted ideas that can go into what defining a word, but I think our moral compass is more or less aligned on, supporting and pushing creators to really make their own stuff and not just be a part of the system. And I think that's what independent is.
And for me, it's a spectrum. I can see somebody uh, who makes their own comic books on their printer or even like, inks them, themselves and folds them and DIYs them. And, they have this nice little book that they've made. And then they put some of those images on like Threadless or Redbubble and they make a lot of money with t-shirts and they're successful doing that. And they financially, whatever financial success is to them, they've achieved it by, doing things. And then you also have the person on the other end who's like, I just produce image books and I got to deal with Dark Horse and blah, blah. And I'm a well-known indie creator and I do the scene. And like those
Right.
people, there's one on one end and one on the other, like that are looked at completely differently, yet they're both successful.
I think one of the things, maybe this is a stance IC3 takes, maybe this is a stance that I take in my world, in my worldview, but I think guys working at Image and guys like printing off comics and selling them at conventions is pretty much the same thing. You're talking about a level of distribution that is higher, right? That's what you're talking about. Uh, if I have a core fan base of people reading my book or reading my comic strip every week, is that really any different than having a book published from a coming out from a proper publisher. Not entirely. People are still consuming it. So I think the kind of removing the veil or removing the separation is
And even we can like go even one more level, like work for hire or contract work at Marvel. Like you're still possibly, you're still probably in that realm too, because like you're probably not like you don't get benefits, you're not getting insurance, you're not getting, like, you're still an indie creator
yeah,
because you're
yeah, yeah.
contract for
Yeah,
hire.
exactly. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah, that's very true. You're still making something, you're still doing something. I don't know. I don't think there is a person on the show floor at IC3 that if Marvel or DC came down and went, "Hey, you want to draw Batman or you want to draw Spider-Man?" Everyone would go, "Oh yeah, of course." Because that's kind of God, it's just comics. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the whole
Having
thing. I mean,
having
you see
labels
it in
and further
film.
labeling things does not necessarily help anything. Doesn't help anybody. So, hi, we are Indie Comics Creator Con, a show for you by you, for creators by creators. Do
Yes.
you make independent comics? Does that look like, are you working with a publisher? Cool. Are you not? Cool. Welcome to Indie Comics Creator
Yeah.
Con.
Have you just printed your first comic book and this is your first convention? Like, yeah. I love having that like rainbow of creators and just seeing everyone, you know, do what they do and see what people do at this show and then where they go a year from now. It's going to be really interesting to see who does what from last year to now and just to see that growth.
It is very fun and it's really cool from a creator standpoint who I did that at Heroes Con, right? For the last I've gone to Heroes Con for the last 10 shows. There was those 2 years where they weren't there. But I've done it for 10 shows now, or 10 years of conventions at the show. And I can go back and look at stuff that I did 10 years ago now and see where I've progressed and who I've become. And now I have relationships with people who work at the show. I have most of my friendships in comics have come from that show. It's really cool, and I hope that we are bringing the same energy as they do. Uh, we talk a lot about this in terms of like we go to a lot of shows, we see how shows work, and we go, let's take the things that we like from those shows and bring them in and kind of figure out a way to make them work. Uh, and that might be a podcast for another podcast, but that is something that I really enjoy talking with you, just texting back and forth, and be like, "Oh, I just went to Mice. They did this really, really cool," and I'm like, "I just went to CXC. They did this really, really cool." So
I did like how Mice labeled who was kid friendly and who wasn't.
yeah,
Not that
that's
they weren't, but
that's
they just labeled who was kid friendly, and you just
yeah,
assumed the other people were not kid friendly.
yes, and that's a really cool thing because it also allows for probably the artist to make that distinction, right? Like I make kids comics. I think that's part of my like the Baboon is a kids comic. Is Spacal? Maybe not, right? Like that's the thing. It's like, is this separating? So it's like, do I label myself as a all ages kids creator? Because I'm branching off and doing things that aren't necessarily all for kids. So I think that's a really cool thing to maybe we do that for the show. Maybe we offer that as a button you can press when you fill out.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out how to like make that work. And last year, I think I kind of put similar artists together in similar areas so that like you kind of wandered through and you're like, oh, this is kind of like a kid friendly area, and this is kind of like not a kid friendly area, and then like this is, I tried to bring things together, and then also like put the bigger names in different areas so that you traveled throughout the show and did that as well, and that's a whole nother podcast in its own is organizing a show floor.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But this week I did start the IC3 tour ticket drops. I went to 4 stores in Connecticut, and I'll be basically every Wednesday. I'll get on the road and I'll hit comic book shops and I'll be at comic book shops. So if you see me, like, ask me for a ticket or ask me for a comic book because I probably have something cool on me and to hand out and everything. So this week I went to Two Guys Comics and Collectibles. I went to Boom Tube Comics. Dan there is an amazing guy, and I really wish this store was closer to my house. I do think they are probably one of the stores in Connecticut that carries the most independent comic books.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was just, and then they had the life size Batman 1989 cowl that you could have bought, like the 1-for-1 scale, and I was like, oh,
Nice.
just run around for that podcast wearing that. And then Second Alarm Comics, I like them. A firefighter runs it, and it's like he's a firefighter, but he also has a lot of time off, so he opened a comic book shop and does like some cool online auctions.
That's awesome.
And they were a good supporter last year. And then Coffee and Comics is pretty close to my house. It's probably in like the 30-minute range. And that place smells amazing because they sell comics and coffee. And I walked in at the end. It was the last shop I went to on the road trip of like 150 something miles. And I walked in and I was like, oh, there's some caffeine. This is awesome. And it's amazing. And they're having a big post holiday or post Christmas sale on like the 28th. So I think I might head out there and be shaking hands and kissing babies because I think he just bought this ginormous collection, like 150,000 comic books.
Nice.
And he's going to have like a huge like dollar bin blowout sale.
Those are the best things.
Yeah. But it was cool like going to these different comic book shops and seeing how people displayed things differently and handle things differently, and just indie creators and like comic book store owners, there's a spectrum, and it's, what people prioritize, what people are selling, what people are moving. It's really cool. I really dig the whole retail experience of it as well. And then hearing the feedback from the comic book store owners about the first show, because I know a few of them went to the show, and then people have talked about post then. So it was really encouraging to get out there, and what was encouraging to go out there and then get the feedback to being like, oh, people like the show, and they were asking about it.
We work in a bubble all year, and it doesn't seem like it actually means anything. So people reaching out and being like, oh, cool, this is awesome. We're like, the show's happening, or Dark Horse is a sponsor, or, oh, cool, these panels look interesting. I'm like, we don't talk to people.
No.
We go and we talk to each other. We have our group of people that we communicate with on the regular, and that's about it. So it's a pretty small team of people making conventions.
Yeah. So the posters, I handed out both the Monty Keene poster and then the Tony McMillan poster out. So if you see their artwork out in the world, take a picture and thank the creators for making those amazing posters for us. What else? So Dark Horse gave us some swag. We're going to have gift bags for the first 100 people that show up to the show.
Nice.
So that's going to be good. I'm going to try to recruit some of the indie creators to hand in like some stickers, some other things to help promote themselves as well. So I'm hoping to fill that out with a lot of good stuff. But Dark Horse stepping in right away is pretty awesome. I've reached out to a couple other comic book companies that are kind of fill or kind of hit what we kind of do kind of as well. I'm hoping to hear back from them. What else? We got the scavenger hunt because I'm going to reiterate this a lot. We're taking over the whole third floor, and there's going to be a lot of different areas to explore. So this scavenger hunt is going to be a huge, huge accessory to help you find everybody, get one of the posters, get one of the, if you complete the scavenger hunt, you'll get one of the convention posters. And then we established that the grand prize is going to be a jam piece from Drink and Draw.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I'm really excited to get that together and put that together. I think that'll be a lot of fun. The closer we get to this thing, the more excited I become. It's there's a lot of stuff happening in a really short amount of time. You talk about stuff for so long and then it just kind of coalesces. I'm really excited for the scavenger hunt. I'm really excited. because conventions don't do this. It's like normally just a hall of people. I think the smaller rooms, like the little auxiliary rooms, I think that's going to be the place. I think that's going to be the thing. It's going to be quieter. It's going to be you're going to actually be able to talk to people, actually have one-on-ones. Um, I think that's really exciting. Uh, we talked about it last time, but my booth, my table is going to be set up in the panel room because I'm not leaving that room for the day. So
I made sure the
that's
panel room
exciting.
is right next to the bathroom.
Cool, great. I'm going to need that. I will probably be, 7 coffees deep by the time we start the show. So the bathroom being right there is probably great.
I
Yeah,
do need to find a coffee, like a coffee food truck to show up in the morning.
that'd be great.
That's on my list. It's on my list.
Nice, nice.
Other things on my list,
Amenities.
I need to talk to Comics Wellspring because Comics Wellspring is like the title sponsor. They've helped us out with so many things. You know, like all the printed material that you'll see will be because of Comics Wellspring, the badges, all the signage, the programs. I'm trying to think of what else they've done. The comic book that we printed up, they did that as well. But we
Nice.
do need some awesome sketch cards for Drink and Draw, and then
Yeah,
just in general, like post Drink and Draw, like at the show. It would be really cool to have like an IC3 branded sketch card, and even if
nice.
I have to do it myself, I'm gonna bag and board and stamp shit.
Listen, I just bought a really big uh paper cutter. So it apparently can cut 400 pages at once. I have yet to test it, but I'm excited. I've yet to test its limits.
Oh, my brain! I had a dream that we were doing something. I'm trying to think what it was, and you were able to um, I either we're using the Smacao #2 sketch cover at Drink and Draw for the jam piece, or you were like, hey, I brought the paper, I brought the stapler. We're just gonna
Yeah,
take things apart and make everything sketch covers, and you were just sketch covering other people's. It was a wild dream. Like it was just
that'd be fun. That'd be wild.
yeah. So it was because I was trying to think of like what cool things we could do, and like you know I just had a dream about you taking apart comic books, putting them back together with a sketch cover, and then just handing them back to people.
That'd be fun. Yeah, I'm down to do that. I'm down to do some crazy things. Let's get this stuff going. Let's get the community really, really working, really doing some cool things. That
And
being said, we do have another topic of conversation that
oh,
is tangential. Staff badge color. Are we
oh,
have we
yeah,
talked
you
about this?
apparently have been looking at our pre-show notes
Yeah,
because I totally forgot about those.
that's right. Staff badge color. They're green, right? Like we're green.
Oh man,
That's the color.
I don't
Can
know.
they just say Spacao on them? Can I brand
Oh,
everything
you want
with
to brand everything Smacao? Because
yeah.
I was leaning towards like bright orange, like traffic control, cool orange, so that like people, because
People see it?
because the regular badges are going to be yellow and black,
Nice. Those
and
are clean.
and I'm hoping that the creator badges are going to be black like last year with the names on them. I still got to
Yeah.
work all that. So I was thinking that the staff badges will be like maybe twice as big, or like 50% bigger and wider, and they just say staff. I'm still
Nice.
looking for volunteers. We have a bunch of volunteers already hooked up, but did we talk about this last time that I want to find a giant guy to protect the pizza room?
Well, no. If you are a giant man, if you're a giant guy or woman, I don't. Just are you large? Are you a big person? Come sign up for the staff at IC3 to guard the pizza room. We did have people just come and steal pizza last year. That
We
was a
did.
thing.
I honestly feel like a giant man wearing a cool T-shirt protecting pizza like will be the most photographed person at IC3.
Yeah. Listen, giant. Are you a giant? Do you have bodyguarding credentials? Do you want to go to a convention on the dime of the ticket? You don't have to pay for your ticket. You
And
go
you'll
work
get a
staff.
T-shirt. You definitely
You
get a
get
T-shirt. You'll probably get some pizza. I'm because honestly, we don't need a we don't you don't have to work that long because the pizza's not going to last that long. You just got to make sure that the creators get the pizza,
right,
and once it's gone, you're done, and you can do whatever you want. And so
right.
I need to reach out to like UConn or Yale, and I don't know whether college football teams are, but there's got to be a giant lineman from one of those two teams
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that likes comic books and wants to just stand at a door and be like, "Do you got the ticket?" Hopefully,
Yeah.
you have a super deep voice.
Listen, I'll put my girlfriend up for that job. She is not big, but she's from Philly, and she will fight you.
Like a little stabby stab, a little stabby
Yeah, yeah.
stab.
You're just yeah. You won't like she'll break some kneecaps. It will be fine.
I'm not gonna lie, you do not want to get stabbed by a spork. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna
Yeah,
leave some plastic in you. There might be an
yeah.
infection.
The infections are there. Yeah, it's not great.
Hi. So badge color, badge.
I think a
There's the
big,
week.
yeah, a big orange, bright thing is that's solid. That's a solid idea.
Wasn't
Wow.
much of a debate.
Not a much of a debate. You said, "Hey, let's talk about badge color," and here we are. We did it.
We did. It's on the list. Checking it off.
Just for everyone to know, we are just recording conversations that Matt and I have to do these things. Eventually, we will have guests, and eventually, we will be able to promote this show in a way that's like a lot more nuanced. But right now, we're figuring things out.
This is behind the scenes. This is what
This
people
is behind the
people
scenes.
love this stuff.
This
People
is what Patreon puts behind that paywall, and we're just giving it to you for free.
Yes, for free. Totally for free. That's crazy. A few little house cleaning items because if you've a creator and you've listened to this podcast all the way to the end, I will be sending out emails about commissions. So if you are a creator at the show and you're doing commissions, I'll be sending that out as well. And commissions, there's a couple other emails out. I will be sending out a few more promotional emails so that you can help promote the show as well. I am like paying for Facebook ads for the event page. So the Facebook event page.
Nice.
So if you share that and invite people and people say maybe, Facebook will then go back and be like, "Hey, you said maybe. You probably should come to the show."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's the whole like algorithm kind of thing. So if you see the Facebook event page for IC3, share it with all your friends and it will bug them to come to the show. That's a
Yeah,
little behind the scenes marketing.
that's good. That's great.
I know because we're a niche of a niche.
We're a niche of a niche of a niche. It's
Yeah.
like we're three. We've gone all the way down in Inception. We were on the fifth level where it's just like this weird dreamscape. That's where we're at.
So it's going to take everybody promoting the show.
Yeah.
For at least for the first 5 years, we're going to be like, "Hey, indie comics, indie comics. Remember that indie comic show? That show? You got
That
to
one
do it.
show.
We got to
Yeah.
do it." Until
Yeah.
we like get on the Beats radar and they put us in their calendar, or other venues or other comic book related journalists cover us and go from there. But like we're gonna have to pound the pavement, shake hands, kiss babies, and everybody's got to do it because it's a team effort. What do you say? It's a comic convention.
It's for creators by creators.
Yeah, you say it's
So
so
it's
much better than me.
that's what I mean. You gotta have some kind of phrase for creators by creators, and everyone knows how to promote. Everyone who has done indie comics in the last 5, 6 years has run a Kickstarter. You know you can't do it by yourself. That's just not how that works. You have to have your friends promote it too. So yeah, be a friend of the show, be a friend of mine, and promote this show. Send it
And
over.
if you're new and you have no clue what we're talking about, Indie Creator Con, indiecomicscreatorcon.com is the website. We have 150 plus creators coming to this event. Some big names, some little names, everybody in between. We're on Instagram, We're on Facebook. You're all over the place at Art of Jamie Jones. You know, like
Yeah.
we're out there, and just check it all out. And if you have comments or questions, just chime in below, and Jamie will have the best answer. I will have like the okay answer, but Jamie will have a better answer.
Yeah, yeah. Feel free to hit me up. I can't tell you that I will respond in any timely manner. That is not a you thing. That's a me thing. That's I am not good at responding to things.
Hey, Jamie,
Hey, Matt,
what is comics?
what is comics?
Hi, until next week.
I'm Jamie Jones.
And I'm Matt Sardo.
Hey, we did
Take care, guys.
it.